What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Tate pack. Tate makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tate Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tate Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tate Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tate Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tate pack. Feel the Tate, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. And I think that we're going to have a phenomenal show today. We got started and kicked off yesterday with an awesome show. I am wearing my daughter's Taekwondo recent achievement. She got another gold medal. So literally she has probably well over 100 gold medals. And so every time that she wins one, she brings it to me. And picked her up from the airport yesterday. And the first thing that she did was put the gold medal around me. So that's my baby girl. Her last day of school today is today. And she's going to be in the 10th grade. So shout out to my baby girl, Leslie. I love you. I appreciate you for being a phenomenal young woman. And you are absolutely awesome. So shout out to you. Your TKD USA, one of the greatest ever. Shout out to you. Another gold medal. Absolutely phenomenal young girl. And so you train hard, you work hard, and you are awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I'm always going to highlight my people. Also, shout out to, I believe it's called Yahaya. So it's at YAH period HAYAH. So this is the card. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'll put it in the description after the show. They actually sent me this shirt, and they sent me a bunch of hoodies and stuff like that, and it's absolutely dope. So you can't really tell right now, but I don't even know if you can see my back. So I'm gonna put that link into the description for y'all to be able to tap into their website. YAHHAYAH Yahaya.com. I'm going to put that in the description after the show for y'all to be able to go in and check out their gear because it's absolutely dope. This shirt is dope. It's awesome. I got a phenomenal show lined up for y'all today. We're going to do an unboxing. We're going to get into some Andrew Tate content. We're going to get into Dwyane Wade showing up on Shannon Sharp's show. And he addressed the whole going 50-50 with Gabrielle Union comments. And then we're going to get into the show. So it's going to be a phenomenal show today. Thank you to everybody that continues to support the platform. Thank you to Bill and Nico. Thank you to People Love Good Quality. Thank you to Yahaya for sending me the gear. And if you guys send me gear and I like it, then I'm going to wear it. If I don't like it, then I'm going to find a way to be able to plug you anyway, but I may not wear it as often. So I wear this stuff not because people pay me, but because I absolutely love my bag chasers. And when they send me good stuff, I absolutely like to support. And so I don't get paid for this. I don't make any money from this. I just like to shout out to people that do great things and give them a little bit of leg up, hopefully, by using my platform to highlight their greatness. So without further ado, I think we should go and get into the show. First and foremost, let me make sure that we highlight our sponsor, Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. I highlighted some of the new free gifts that they're giving their users. If you are using any other Teach pack, make sure you get rid of that Teach pack. Come over here and tap in with the Teach. That link is in the description. Please do not just ignore what it is that I'm saying as a sponsor. I would never push a product that I do not absolutely love and highlight and use for myself. So Teach Hanley is definitely a sponsor of the show, and we love them. So shout out to the Teach. In addition to that, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to Corey Holiday. I'm definitely going to be reading super chats throughout the show. Tap into the Patreon. That link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I dropped a video yesterday in the Patreon that actually supports a video that I dropped earlier in the week, last week, of a content creator. And I want y'all to really understand the importance of building a network and then leaning on these people so that you get more insight information on how you can make more money and how you get tapped in. What a lot of people don't realize is that Anna, who was one of the people that I interviewed and I dropped inside of the Patreon, and I got a new Patreon video dropping this week to add more value into your life. Anna is one of the people that actually connects me and plugs me in on a lot of these companies that we wind up doing business with here in Metro Detroit. So if you have not looked at that interview, if you have not looked at the video before that, make sure you guys tap in and look at that inside of the Patreon because I dropped this insight and information, not just for entertainment value, but also so that you can learn from it and leapfrog off of it and then be able to level up. So that when I do the invest in your business, when you guys give me the pitches and I give you the seed money to be able to start your businesses, that's coming up later on this year, you can use the information that I'm giving you in order to continue to promote your business and then get that bag, all right? So make sure that you guys tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. And if you have not already, share this and subscribe. If not, then it is what it is. All right, I want to get into the show because I got a lot to cover today, all right? First and foremost, I want to cover this whole, I don't know any other way to put it, fake friends. I know I'm trying to be nicer nowadays. I know I'm trying to, approach things a little bit more diplomatic and things like that, but I got to call it like I see it. I got to address it the way that we need to address it. Before we get into the unboxing, because I want to show you guys the new timepiece that my wife picked up for me, and then I want to deep dive into the show. I want to really, really emphasize something. Now, while we were live streaming last night, and shout out to Q because that show was incredible. I was on there, Q was on there, and all of our good friends, and we had a phenomenal live stream. Somebody said that somebody passed away. Right? And it was in the chat, and it was somebody that basically we discovered or became a part of the Fight Club family. So for those of you that don't know, in Fight Club, it's a platform that I started well over a year ago, and it was based off of the idea that I wanted people to stay in the house instead of going out late at night on the biggest drinking day of the year around Thanksgiving, because I had a bad feeling. And so it wasn't called Fight Club then. I just was doing it on the Anton Daniels channel. And so I had been in a mode to where I was streaming overnight to where I could help people stay in the house, give them a form of entertainment, and then for them to be able to have a conversation with me. Now it's morphed into something that's completely different, right? And so it's Fight Club now, right? And it just came from, hey, y'all know the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. And so ideas just naturally morph and they evolve. And now we got different networks and different people stealing people from Fight Club in order to try to keep their network afloat. That's a whole nother conversation. But whole nother conversation. So much fakeness on this fucking internet. Q calls it out more than I do, but I'm about to start being more like Q. So much fake over the internet. But let's just deep dive into it, right? And so, throughout however long, people in the chat was just saying, oh man, rest in peace to Auntie J and rest in peace to this person and this person, whatever, so on and so forth. And I was like, well, I don't really even believe that anything happened to her until I could substantiate it. I would never say something like that. And I still don't know how people truly know. But then people start saying, well, this person said it and this person said it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So all of these people essentially evolved from coming together on these platforms and Fight Club and all of this other type of stuff, right? But here's the caveat, right? Even though we've all come together as a result of finding each other or finding different ways in which we've created these platforms, and then some people go off and create their own platform or whatever, so on and so forth. If you've been in this space for any amount of time, you know that just like any other family, just like any other place, just like any other hood, just like any other city, there's infighting. There's infighting. But see, the internet is a vicious place. It's much more vicious than real life. Because what happens is people go off on a tangent and then they create entire narratives that then, instead of reacting to the content, they start beefing like they really hate each other. And so what I had seen play out over a span of months was that the person that they're allegedly saying rest in peace, which I can't substantiate that they're really even passed away or anything like that, the person that they saying rest in peace to is somebody that they was going at hard. I mean, they did whole live streams. They would put images up that would paint her in a negative light. They would absolutely destroy her character, the whole 9 yards. And again, it's one thing to highlight and call out something that was said, but it's another thing to just go hard and every single time. It was for a week straight, maybe even 2 weeks, it seemed like they was doing live streams on this woman that they're now saying rest in peace to. Come on, let's just keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Let's not do all of the fucking bullshit. Let's not do all of the posturing and all of this other type of stuff. Let's keep it 100. They were doing straight up multiple back to back cover photo, all of this other type of stuff, paint them in a negative light. So much so to where I've completely removed myself, right? And they really didn't even like her. They genuinely, based off of what I had been seeing in my limited view, now I may be completely out of it, but based off of my limited view, they didn't like her. I mean, they were gathering up posses against her and all of this other type of stuff, right? And again, it's one thing to make fun of somebody or to laugh at something that they did, or we had a conversation and we went back and forth or whatever. But when you make multiple live streams over and over and over again on people that's not even a content creator, because she didn't even have a channel. She didn't even have a content creation channel. This was personal. You know what I'm saying? This was on some, all right, listen, I genuinely don't like you and we gonna form a posse against you type of shit, right? I mean, some high school shit, some high school bully type shit, right? When you see that happen, when you see that play out, okay, so you felt some type of way. Whatever energy that you had, whether it was justified or not, it just is what it is. But then how you gonna turn around and say, rest in peace, we doing a tribute to you type of shit? Oh, that's so fake. So fake. And this just tells you, this just shows you the nature and the character of a lot of people that then lean on your death in order to justify the energy that they then putting out because they don't want to be accountable for what it is that they said about you when you was alive. Don't do that. Don't do that with me. Don't do that with me. When my time is up, if you wasn't fucking with me, just don't say nothing. Like, you ain't gotta say nothing negative, but you ain't gotta say nothing positive. Don't act like we was cool. Don't do the rest in peace tribute or none of that. Just let me go. I can't stand when people even say don't even say nothing. It ain't even on no tribute type shit. Just don't say shit. Just don't say nothing. Don't say rest in peace. Don't say, oh man, God bless you and your family. You never gave a fuck about my family. You never gave a fuck about me. You never gave a fuck about her. And so I can't stand that fake junk, man. That shows the true nature of the people that we surrounding ourselves with. And people don't truly have your best interest at heart. And they gonna act like they did when they didn't. And that's fake. Because that woman, if she's really passed away, that woman wasn't even a content creator. She didn't even have a channel. She just came on because she found the opportunity to really bond and connect with different people that was up late at night to be able to get her thoughts off just like everybody else. And again, it's one thing to even do one show or say, oh, this person said something about me or whatever like that. But it's another thing to do back to back, reacting to the person as though they're a content creator and then come back and then saying, oh, rest in peace. That's some fake shit. Flat out. And I know I'm supposed to be the person that stays above it and don't say it and let people say whatever it is that they want to say. Man, fuck y'all. If you wasn't fucking with her, just stay out of it. Just be like, man, cool. Oh, shoot. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Send a prayer up for their family to yourself. But stop doing all of this online posturing. We seen that same shit happen when Kevin Samuels passed away. It was so many people that wasn't fucking with. I had more respect for the people that still kept the smoke after he passed away, even though I thought it was disrespectful, than the people that was acting like they was cool with him and they was fucking with him when he was alive. Oh, I didn't really have no problem with him. Nah, come on, man. Let's just keep the same energy. Unless you're going to come back to the front of the congregation and say, you know what? I shouldn't have had that energy for him. I shouldn't have said this about him. Unless you're going to then take ownership and responsibility of how it is that you played it, then just don't say nothing at all and just let that shit rock. Let that shit rock. I can't believe the stuff that I keep seeing play out online the same way that it play out in real life. Y'all not different online. Y'all more of what y'all already are. Online is just like money. Money don't make you better and make you more of what you already are. The online community gets to see exactly who people truly are. You see some of this most egregious shit in the chat, you never see that junk play out in real life. Nobody have any smoke for anybody in real life, but online they say some of the most egregious stuff. When my time is up, just let me rock, man. Just let me rock. So shout out to all of the fake friends out here wishing a fake rest in peace that don't really want her to rest in peace, but it sounds like something nice to say. Mean what you say and say what you mean and keep that shit moving, man. So shout out to y'all. I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. Just wanted to address that. Let's get into the better parts of the show. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this out really quickly. See if I can get a better view for y'all in order to be able to show y'all. See if I can unbox this more effectively. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do so. All right, so let's see what we got here. So this is a gift for me, for myself, based off of the idea that I do awesome things all the time. And so one of the things that I like to do is I like to purchase for myself. My weakness is timepieces, right? My real weakness is timepieces. I love a good timepiece. And I think that it's absolutely awesome. So my authorized dealer is funny because when I went to Miami, no, not Miami. When I went out to LA, I went to a authorized dealer. But I've never bought a used watch before ever in my life. And I almost succumbed to it because I wanted this watch really, really bad. But I told Rita, I said, hey, call the authorized dealer. Tell them to put me on a list for these particular watches. and she wouldn't got it for me immediately. So every single thing that I've ever bought, as far as a timepiece, including this one, a lot of people was with me, and you see me unbox the Rolex, including this one. I've always purchased brand new, and it's worth more than what I paid for it. All right. So let me go ahead and just open this up for y'all. I would like for you guys to be able to enjoy this moment with me, because I have not, let me say it again, I have not worn this watch. I took it out of the box yesterday. I had a conversation with my people on the live stream. I took it out of the box, and I just showed Q real quick, but other than that, I put it back in the box. So let me go ahead and unbox this for you. Well, actually, let me just do it like that. It's supposed to be like this. So for those of you that has never been here before, this is not the first time that people here has ever experienced this, but this will not be the last time. So for those of you that do not understand Rolexes, there's different sizes for different boxes. So the presidential, which is this one, came in a much bigger box. And I believe the Submariner, my very first one, came in a smaller box, okay? You're always going to have that green box. I actually think that Omega has better boxes than these. I think that Omega has a much, much better box than these. So you're going to have the Rolex box right here, or the Rolex logo right here, and you got the box. So we're going to pull that out. By the way, this is, I think, my seventh Rolex that I have. I think it's my seventh. I'm not sure. All right, so. We call this the root beer. This is called the root beer. All right, it's a GMC Master or GMT Master 2. And it's got the root beer colors. It's like a, actually, let me just break this down. This is rose gold. This is rose gold. And this is stainless steel. So stainless steel and rose gold. All right. Stainless steel and rose gold. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's funny because even the lighting right here, right now, it doesn't do it justice. And you see how it transitioned in from like the bronzish, brownish color to like the black. We call that the root beer. All right. So it's a GMT Master 2. And I do not have a root beer. And so this was one of the watches that I had on my list that I really, really wanted. And I almost paid $7,000 more than I paid for this one. So I paid a little bit over $17,000 for this watch. Paid a little bit over $17,000 for this watch. And I almost paid $23,000, something like that, $6,000 or $7,000 more. I almost paid $23,000. So obviously it comes with all of the stuff that's inside of there. And if you pull this down, let me pull this down a little bit before I get to it. If you pull this down, it starts, getting all into the box, the paperwork, the warranty, everything like that. So all of that stuff is inside of here. I don't want to show my serial number or anything like that. So I'm going to just leave that there. So I'm going to put that back in there. But this is my new timepiece, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. I don't know if I want to wear it today because I think I got to get some links taken out. I haven't really tried it on yet. Let me go ahead and try this on. So some Rolexes, let me show you the difference. For this one, you pop it off at the crown, right? And then you just pull it off. And then it has, all of the engraving and stuff like that. My watches get worn, so it's pretty beat. My watches get beat up a little bit. If you look at, I don't know if you can see some of the scratches and stuff on my gold. This is all gold. It's really, really heavy. It's solid gold. All right. So if you pop it off at the crown, right here, but you pop it off from the bottom and you pull it up like that. So it pulls up and then you pull it down from here. And then you got your Rolex right there. I don't know if you see that right here. This is what it looks like on the back. And the thing about these watches is if you let them sit, what people don't really realize about Rolexes is if you look at this one, right? If you look at the hand and how it's rolling around, see how it's just how it's rolling around like that? If you let it sit and you don't wind it up, because this watch has never been worn before, it'll just sit like that. So a lot of times once you wind it up and once you set it, it'll be on a rotation because I don't know how long. I don't know if it's like 48 hours or 36 hours or something like that. But if you do, then it'll just stop. It'll stop turning, right? So it's a little loose. See that? You don't want it to be this loose. See how loose that is? So we'll take it and we'll get a couple links taken out. But this is what it's going to look like. I think that this is my new favorite watch. I believe that this is the new favorite, and we're going to have to go ahead and put this one up, and we're going to have to start rocking this one. So it's 40 millimeters, steel and rose gold. They call it Ever Rose Gold. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the box. 40 millimeters. The retail price of it is 16 and change, and then with tax, I paid like 17,000, something like that. And so I sent Rita to go and pick it up. Screw down, triple lock, waterproofed, right? Scratch resistant, sapphire, cyclops lens, waterproof up to 330 feet. This moves. See how that moves? So it's gorgeous. It's absolutely a beautiful watch. One of my grill watches. Very happy to have it. Very happy to be unboxing it in front of you guys. So hopefully you're enjoying this moment with me because you know that I live my life like an open book. And I want to make sure that I not only inspire you, but give you insight and information that allegedly this watch is worth thousands more after I wear it and purchase it than it would be than when I purchased it new. So everything is an asset. Even the things that I buy that I can enjoy every day, everything is an asset, and it will appreciate hopefully even more over time. It doesn't matter because watches are my weakness. And so I will never, ever, hopefully ever sell a watch. But if I wanted to ever sell it and extract the value of it, it certainly hopefully beats the rate of inflation. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So thank you for rocking out with me to unbox that. You will probably, and I was looking at that on my iPhone, by the way. So you guys will see more about that, I'm sure, as we continue to navigate through this life. You'll see more watches. You'll see more things that show up on my wrist. I'll probably be wearing this probably within the next couple of days after I ever get time to actually get the links taken out. But it's a fire watch. It's absolutely fire. So let me read some of these super chats, and then I'm going to get started with the show. Hold on. I got to give a shout out first to Mike That Dude. Mike That Dude hit me with the Cash App. So thank you, Mike That Dude, for holding me down. And then I'm going to read like 4 super chats, and then we're going to get it popping with the show. So first super chat is from Corey Holiday. Corey Holiday says, finally catching a stream on my way into work. Loving this retail banker life. I'm guessing he's saying life. And shout out to all of my fellow bag chasers. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to Corey Holiday and thank you for the fireball. I appreciate you. Zoltang TV says GMT root beer. I see you. Yeah, I see you. He also says 72-hour power reserve. So there you go. 72 hours. I was off. I don't know everything about the watches. It's a 72-hour power reserve. So it'll stop rotating. The hand will stop rotating. Cliff Williams says you need a yacht master next, big bro. It's on the list. I got a few watches on the list. I actually got 3 more watches on the list. I got a yacht master, I got a Pepsi, and then I'm not gonna tell you the last one because the last one is crazy. The last one actually costs more than this one. It actually costs more than a presidential. So, and I got a rose gold presidential on order too. So I got like $100,000 something dollars worth of watches on order, and then I got a Patek Philippe. So that's on order too, but that may take a little bit longer. So shout out to y'all. Let's get started with the show. The first thing that I want to talk about is Dwyane Wade, and I'll be reading super chats throughout the show. But the first thing that I want to talk about is Dwyane Wade. Now, Dwyane Wade obviously has been making the news, and he's been making his rounds not because of anything that he's done per se lately. Obviously, we know the weaponization of kids and all of this other type of stuff. But Dwyane Wade has been making his rounds as a result of his wife. So recently, his wife, Gabrielle Union, said that, listen, me and Dwyane Wade go half and half, 50-50 on the bills, and it caused an uproar. And I suspect that this one is going to cause just as much of an uproar because Dwyane Wade didn't have to answer this question, but Shannon Sharp, One Club Shay Shay, got it up out of him. Heather Woods, you do need to upgrade to YouTube Premium. Go ahead, stop being cheap. And for some reason, all of these basketball guys just keep on being in the news as a result of saying things and having conversations and sipping out in their relationship with women and all of that other type of stuff, right? So I want to go ahead and share this with you guys of Dwyane Wade. Hey, why didn't that pop up? Let's see if we can get that popped up. I don't know what just happened there. Why didn't that pop up? I don't like that. Do we do that? No. No, that's not it. I don't like that. Here, let me just share my screen. Let's pop off of that. Let's do it like this. Here's your boy Dwyane Wade talking about going 50-50 and having a conversation with Club Shay Shay. Let's go ahead and get into the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, you stay on there. I mean, you be blowing up the internet. Whether it's you,
bro, I'm tired. Listen, I don't know how I'm always in pop culture, man.
Yeah, you and Gabby.
Because my wife.
Your wife. Because she made the comment about you and her split 50-50.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Can you
get into that.
Can you clarify what you mean? Because that's
let's get into that a little bit.
That's very unique. And I don't know if I've ever heard of a situation, especially a married couple.
Yeah.
I don't care, we dating.
Yeah.
That thing might be, hey, I got the movie.
What is that cube thing in the background? Says the Cube TBS. What is that? Is Club Shay Shay now sponsored by TBS? It says the Cube, and then it has TBS on it. I don't know. I'll be looking at certain things, and I'll be trying to understand why things are the way that it is. But it says the Cube, TBS on it. I don't know if y'all see that. Look, let me blow it up a little bit. Y'all see it? Is Club Shay Shay now sponsored by TBS? Or is the Cube sponsoring this particular show? Oh, that's Dwyane Wade's new TV show? Dwayne Wade got a TV show called The Cube. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. So apparently he has a reason to come on this platform to be able to talk about his life. Otherwise, I can't imagine why he would be here having this conversation at all. So that's Dwayne Wade's show. Okay, got it. All right, let's continue.
Tickets, you get the popcorn and the candy.
Yeah,
you know, if we take us out to dinner, you leave the tip, you do the valet. Yeah. But she's like 50-50 household, and I think she kind of explained it. But I got you here so you can explain it.
You know what I was saying? I was like, you know what's crazy? When you have, it's think pieces that's going around the world about me and my wife.
Right.
And I haven't given no color to this.
Right.
But it's think pieces going around about me as a man.
Right.
And I'm like,
make that man make his wife be 50-50. What kind of man is that?
It's not amazing. And the reason why it's not amazing is because your wife is the one that sat up there and brought it up when she was being interviewed by somebody else. So it's not a think piece. It's a conversation. See, people be trying to make this out to be way more than what it really is. People be trying to make it out to be way more than what it really is. It's not a think piece. It's not that deep. Yo chick came up on a platform and was doing an interview and then decided to bring up this part of the conversation, add more context into it, talking specifically about how it is that you guys go 50-50 inside of the household. And so you can't sit here and say, oh, these think pieces, I don't know where this stuff is coming from. It came from her mouth. She's the one that brought this up in the first place. So let's please stop acting like this is a confusing conversation that we having right now. All right.
So I thought the same thing too, D-Wade. I ain't gonna lie.
You thought the same thing?
Yeah, when you make up, I say, how you gonna make that woman pay? He got all that cheese. He making her pay 50.
All right, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So the whole 50-50 concept.
Right.
Okay, so I understand what 50-50 means.
Right.
50-50 means that everything in life, you got your half and I got my half.
Right.
And we're going to put this shit together and try to make 100.
Right.
Okay?
We buy $200 worth of groceries, you put in 100, I put in 100.
That's how 50-50 goes.
That's how we look at it.
That is not how our relationship works. All right? We don't, see, everybody think 50-50. They think, hey, if he getting a sandwich, you got to put 50% on that.
Right.
He got 100, 200, whatever people.
No. And see, they conflating it. And that's not what 50-50 means. What 50-50 means is basically on household bills. It's not every single thing. Nobody in any relationship is nuanced enough to go through and have an itemized deduction of exactly how much you're spending on this and how much you're spending on that. No, listen, if we got this crib, we're going to split the expenses that come along with it. And that's how I go. You can't change it. You can't spin it. You can't modify it. You can't make it to be something that's any more than exactly what it is that she painted it. She said in their household, they split everything down the middle, but she added an additional caveat. All right. This was the caveat that she added. She tired as fuck. And that's the reason why we started having a conversation. It wasn't just that y'all was going 50-50 and that was the end of the conversation. The fact was that she was out there saying, yo, it's hard and I'm struggling and, you know, I don't know when I'm going to get another job and I don't know when I'm going to get another movie role and Netflix might not release this movie this time and I might not get paid. And she added additional context to show why women should not be operating like they men, but they've advocated for feminism, which made them equal. So why shouldn't you then contribute 50-50? But he want to sit here and play games, but it's okay. We're going to get down to the thick of it.
Good thing I got. Right. That's not how it works.
Right.
50-50 in our household is, first of all, let's say I have 20 to 50 responsibilities.
Right.
And my wife have 20 to 50 responsibilities. And when I say that, that means she has a mother, she has her sisters, she has her dad, she has a lot of things that she's responsible for.
Right.
You know what she does?
Right.
She pays 100% of that.
Right.
That ain't my problem. Flag number one, we don't take care of family. Me and you are in a relationship. See, this is why these people need counseling from AntonDaniels.com. You and I are in a relationship. Why am I taking care of the whole family? See, him as a man, and maybe this is just the way I see it because I don't tell anybody what to do in a relationship, but this is a think piece and this is a reaction. Him as a man should have told her, hey, listen, that's our bag. And so you can't be sitting there trying to take care of somebody else because those are grown individuals. And I didn't know that you were responsible for everybody else. When we start doing that? See, that's the conversation that you were supposed to have before you even got into a relationship and got married. When is she supposed to start taking care of everybody else? When you get married, they said cleave to your wife, which means that you guys need to stop taking relationship advice and stop looking at them as relationship goals. These people are not relationship goals. They are flawed, uninformed, don't even know how to really hold down a relationship in the first place, but they out here giving advice as to how it is that they run their shit, and then you duplicate it like this is the way that you're supposed to run your stuff. Stupid. It was stupid.
You know what I do? I pay 100% of my life. When our life come together, my wife is a working actress who spends time away from the family to go work,
do her job.
Build. Right. We decided together, because I think I said one time we was in Miami, I said something about it being my house that I paid for. My wife looked at me, she was like, you will never say that to me again when it's something that we share. And so my wife was like,
I'm sorry. Let me rewind that really, really quickly. I'm going to rewind to like 10 seconds.
At one time we was in Miami, I said something about it being my house that I paid for. My wife looked at me, she was like, you will never say that to me again when it's something that we share.
I'm sorry, was you in there shooting with me when I was in the gym? I mean, I thought that he did a phenomenal job standing on what it is that he stand on. Was you in there getting shots up with me in the gym? Because I don't remember you signing any one of my checks or for this check being to both Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union. Was you in there in the rehab center when I was getting my knee done? See, that's standing up as a man to say, listen, this is my crib. I bought this. We need to get a prenuptial agreement to separate the fact that this is my crib, I bought it, and I put up all of the jump shots and I was battling and did all of the stuff that I needed to do. See, that was what I expect from a man to say, yo, this is my crib, so you better be careful what you're saying in my crib. And then she had the nerve to step up and said, okay, well, let me step on and put on my size 12 Timberlands and let you know that you will never say nothing like that in life again to me without understanding that we sharing this together. No, we not sharing it together. You're living in my house under my covering, and so this is the way that we do it. But again, this is women wanting to feel like they partners instead of looking at it like a wife. Listen, she could have had everything taken care of, but she let her feelings and her emotions put her in a space where now she out here struggling on the struggle bus, trying to pay 50-50 and go half with a nigga that made over $200 million in his lifetime. Get the fuck out of here. Let me stop cussing.
And so my wife was like, that when we moved to LA, I got half on it. You will never say my house again.
Wow.
She said, you can say that in the arena. And so in our life, our home, 50-50, we purchased it together.
Right.
Our daughter, anything that goes on with our daughter, 50-50, we share it together. Right. Now, it's some things I pick up versus some things she pick up, but she does something, I do something.
Right.
If we take a yacht trip, we could do it 50-50, or I can do it myself. But my wife is a working woman.
Right.
She's a boss and an independent woman in her own life.
Right.
She's like, I'm gonna put, you know what, that little 200 that you was gonna spend on this, I'm gonna throw something else on there and we're gonna go on a bigger trip. We're gonna ball out. Like, this is my wife. Right? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I like having a wife that's like, that's cool, you can do that. The house we live in, thank God, in Hidden Hills, nice house.
Right.
Whatever millions. We could have had a nice house on my 50% too.
Right.
It'd have been nice.
Nice.
She was like, no, let me put something else on and let us live a little different.
Oh, yeah, they got a little bigger.
This is absolutely insane. I pray to God that y'all are not taking relationship advice from Gabrielle Union and Dwyane Wade. I guarantee you that if Rita is watching this right now, and when she watched this on a restream, she gonna be thinking to herself, she's a fool. This dude said his wife is a boss. His wife is a boss. Let me ask the ladies in the chat. Let me just get a quick temperature check in the chat. Because y'all know I like to interact with my audience when I'm having this conversation. For the temperature check in the chat, for the ladies only, put a 1 in the chat if you a boss chick that want to go 50-50 with a man. Only if, Rita's in there, put a 1 in the chat if you a boss chick that want to show up and go 50-50. Shout out to Persevere Data TV. Definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. Put a 1 in the chat if you a boss chick that's willing to go 50-50 on everything with your man in order to put your ego to the side and say you will never say that this is your house that you bought. I don't see no ones. I see two. I ain't even say put a 2 yet. I see thumbs down. All right, let me revise the question. Ladies, put a 2 in the chat if you willing to live in your femininity. I don't see no ones. Where's all my ones at? Put a 2 in the chat if you willing to live in your femininity, become a mother, chill out, have the option to work if you want to work, but don't want to have to pay no main bills and really want to let that man be your husband instead of being your partner. Put a 2 in the chat if you rather have a husband than a partner. Put a 1 in the chat if you rather have a partner than a husband. Let me say that again. Put a 2 in the chat if you'd rather have a husband, not a partner. Put a 1 in the chat if you'd rather have a partner than a husband. Because I think that we got this whole shit confused. I don't see no ones. Where's all my ones? Where are all my boss chicks at? Y'all don't want to be bosses? Mimi said 2 to live like Rita. Rita said 2. Where my boss chicks at? Y'all don't want to be like Gabrielle?
Hello?
Rita, what's wrong?
Nothing. Leslie is driving and it's a little crazy in here. What's going on?
You don't want to be a boss chick?
No, why would I?
Would Leslie want to pay half, or do Leslie want to be taken care of? I'm curious.
I don't want to pay half.
Leslie, you don't want to pay half?
No.
Why not?
No, thank you.
Leslie, my beautiful daughter, how was school today?
Good. Last day.
I highlighted how you won, and I showed off your gold medal.
Thank you.
Leslie, you don't want to pay half?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Leslie, how do you live? How does your life? How do you financially? What is your life like?
Hey, whatever I want.
Huh?
Whatever I want, I get.
Whatever you want, you get. How?
Everything.
You don't want to pay half, less?
No, thank you.
You just like your mama. Let me tell y'all what Leslie is like. Leslie is way more, I would say even more feminine than her mother. Because Leslie be telling Rita, hey ma, you ain't really spending the money that you need to be spending. Dad already said that we can do this.
That is true.
All right, y'all. Y'all have fun.
All right.
What y'all got up? What y'all got up?
Right now we're about to go to the grocery store and then over to Leslie's hair appointment after this grocery store.
Okay. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Bye. Leslie be talking to my wife and she be like, hey ma, you being a little bit too reserved with your spending habits. Dad said that we can go out here and ball. We need to be going out and doing everything that we want. I don't see no ones in the chat. Where are my boss chicks at? Let me see what Dwyane Wade is saying on the rest of this.
So we probably share 3 things in our life that we 50-50 on.
Right.
Everything else, I'm 1,000%, and she's 1,000%.
Right.
And so we decided that certain pieces of our life we would share in it.
But D-Wade, that works for y'all. Well, why does it matter if it's 75-25, if it's 85-15? That's your life. Why everybody is so consumed what goes on in everybody else's household when their household effed up?
Well, listen, that's a whole nother story. And that's just the word.
I don't lose no sleep. They're like, oh man, you see that D-Wade make his wife? I was just joking.
Listen,
Yo, Shannon Sharp is really caping in order to make sure that he maintains good relationships to be able to have these conversations. Nobody in their right mind. I don't care what feminism is telling y'all. I don't care if they telling y'all that y'all can have women empowerment with this slut walk stuff, that y'all need to be making equal pay and all of this other type of stuff. The fact of the matter is, no woman in their right mind, not one, wants to be a boss chick by going 50-50 with a man that is a millionaire. 50-50 at all, let alone 50-50 with a millionaire. This is not the ideal relationship at all. Shout out to Shannon Sharp for caping right now.
I wish I could make my. I don't make my wife do anything. First of all, if I could, we wouldn't be in the headlines all the time. I'd be like, "Would you stop talking?"
When you say
you know what I'm saying? My wife is
ain't got no control over your chick. Control your chick, bro. Control. What you mean you ain't got no control? If it was, then y'all wouldn't be in the headlines. So you don't know how to coach your chick. You don't understand that your chick is a representation. Let me revise that. I call my wife my chick. You don't understand that your wife is a representation of you, and when they go out there and they talking too much and they doing too much, that you need to get your chick in, you need to get your wife together so that she not over talking and spilling the beans, so that you got to come out here and have these conversations and divulge more information that you need to. At the very least, you should have been able to hold this in. You ain't got no balls to where you can actually get your woman together. I can't tell my wife nothing. If I would, then we wouldn't even be in these headlines right now. Beta. Shout out to my dog, Jesse Lee Peterson. Beta.
She gonna respond now. You say something, you get out of pocket with her.
Listen, my wife had this microphone way before I did. Y'all been watching Bring It On for a long time.
Right.
She been bringing it on for a long time. So, like, when she say 50-50 and people take a clip of it, yeah, I understand. Like, I listen to all the think pieces. I laugh. I'm like, ooh, okay, that's a point right there. I get that, but that ain't how we live. But I understand your point.
They took it in this little interpretation.
Yeah.
That
make sure Dwyane Wade is reading and listening to this think piece. He said he listened to all the think piece. Hey, D Wade. Man, listen, bro. I'm being absolutely honest with you. If you watch this, D Wade, this ain't it, bro. Honestly, this ain't it. All NBA players right now is out here looking bad in these streets. From Zion Williamson to Ja Morant to Paul Pierce to Shaquille O'Neal, this ain't it, fam. The only NBA player that's looking good right now is Nikola Jokic, and he not even a black man. He the only one that's out here looking good is Nikola Jokic and LeBron James. This ain't it, big dog.
50 everything.
Right.
No, it don't work like that. I do all right for myself.
Right.
But in certain moments that we want to do better together,
right,
we do better together. And first of all, listen, I told my wife, I said, hey, baby, listen, you're not about to be taking all this time away from the family, building your wealth while I'm spending all mine.
Right.
Well, I don't know where they do that at. All I know is, you know what I mean? She come home and be like, hey, baby, it was good. I'll move on from you. And I done spent all my cheese.
Yeah, right.
She done built all her cheese.
She don't build up. Her stack went like this.
Stack here.
Yours went like that.
Right, you know what I mean? I told you how many kids I had before we started. Like ex-wives, I got all kind of stuff, right? But cheese go all over the place.
Right.
She just building on her cheese and I'm spending.
If this is not the most beta conversation that I've ever seen play out in my entire life. This just tells y'all that a lot of these guys, even though they've made a lot of money, they scared. They scared. They money is not as long as y'all think it is. I'm telling y'all keep saying, oh, they made this amount in their lifetime and this how much they got. How much you keep? How much you keep? Because first of all, your money is my money once we get married. These dudes don't understand. They don't understand marriage. What you mean? You get to build up your wealth. That's my money. You better get comfortable in living your femininity, and we better modify our lifestyle to be a reflection of being able to last for the rest of our lives, because we might need to lower our expectations and not live in Hidden Hills. Because that's my money, bro. That's my money. That's not your money. That's my money.
No, man.
Right.
Listen, where they do that at? You You know, that's that.
They don't do it that way.
That's the yak talk.
Yeah, you see. Yeah.
No.
You don't put a dent in that bottle.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, now I ain't do this by myself though.
I mean, I had a little swing every once in a while, but you hit that thing about 4-5 times.
So everybody think 50-50 means that, hey baby, I'm gonna go get this sandwich. You got $10 on it.
Right.
Come on, y'all gotta be. Come on, man. Like y'all gotta stop this. Y'all gotta stop this small thinking, man.
Right. I'm glad you cleared that up. But she did. She's like, I signed the prenup because what he had before he met.
He didn't clear it up. He made it worse. Listen, Dwyane Wade apparently is still paying his ex-wife. He's still paying for the other kids and all of that. These dudes are suckers. These dudes is suckers out here. Hey man, I still gotta pay my ex-wife and all of this other type of stuff. These dudes is getting finessed. Hey, it's finesse season, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to all of my ladies that's out here in LA, Miami, New York, or whatever. It's finesse season. Come and get in touch with Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I'm going to put you out there so you can go ahead and get your bag up because it is finesse season. He didn't clear that up. I don't know what Shannon Sharp talking about. He dug the hole to make it way worse. Now he looking like a whole fool. He ain't looking like a half fool. He looking. You know who I respect? You know who I genuinely respect? Not because I even know how it is that they move with their girl and their household or anything like that. I respect Jay-Z. And the reason that I respect Jay-Z is because Jay-Z don't even talk. His girl don't talk. He don't talk. Y'all just gonna have to try to figure out when you purchase an album or you go on tour and see Sasha Fierce or whatever the hell is going on. Jay-Z ain't out here clearing nothing up for nobody. He just be living. Jay-Z just out here living.
Met me is what he had before he met me. Now what we accumulate together, that's what we got. But
that's what we rock with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what she has, like, and that's the thing. Now I told her the same way. I signed a prenup too.
Right.
You a millionaire.
Yeah.
You got money. You work hard for your stuff.
Right.
You should have.
I think everybody should have a prenup.
Why not? You get insurance, don't you?
Right. Because people ask, when I didn't have anything, I said, I'm gonna sign a prenup. They're like, Sharp, why you gonna sign a prenup? You ain't got nothing. I say, so if I leave, I want 100% of my nothing. I don't want 50% of my nothing.
Nothing. I don't want nothing.
I want all of that.
But what I don't want to do is, if she decided to move on from me, she got 200 and I got 10.
Exactly.
Because I've been spending all my money on all these dance recitals, all these games, all these trips, everything. And I just say, like, oh man, take care of everything. I do.
Right.
I take care of my mama. I take care of my daddy. I take care of boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
When it comes to me and my wife, I take care. Like, and another thing, we go on trips. We go on all this stuff. Y'all see the big trips.
Right.
Now, my wife would put on a big trip. It's a whole calendar year.
Right.
Where I had to step in and I have to make sure that the relationship is spicy.
Right.
That it's sexy. This and that. That my credit card gets used through everything. You feel me?
I think that this is quite possibly the worst advice that y'all should ever take when it comes to relationships. I think that this is quite possibly the worst advice when it comes to relationships. Honest to God. Honest to God. And this is why I tell y'all all the time that how you start is how you have to continue. He already done set the bar. The only smart thing that he said is that he got a prenuptial agreement. The only thing in this whole conversation that I agree with is the fact that he got a prenuptial agreement. Yes, he did say his credit card 2 = 1. He did say his credit card. Y'all caught it too. I caught it. Yo, I'm going to do a deeper dive on this, and I'm going to break down Dwyane Wade on Wednesday night because we got to continue. We got a whole show to go over. So shout out to Dwyane Wade and Club Shay Shay for providing us with this great insight and information on how it is that we need to react to and move a little bit differently when it comes to relationships. Shout out to D Wade holding down his relationship. Looking like a whole fool, not a half a fool. Let me read a couple of these super chats and then we're going to continue on with the show. This is crazy. Persevere Data TV said athletes is going out sad all summer. No, we eating this summer. We eating on athletes this summer. We getting all of them back from the athletes this summer. Shout out to Kojak. Kojak with the 777 says the great, God, husband, wife over the children. The only order that I recognize. Shout out to my dog Kojak in the building. Shout out to Classy Beats. He says the problem is that the Wills and Jadas, the D Wades and Gabrielle Unions, always get the biggest platforms, and people think that this ish is normal when we should be promoting the ADs and Aritas. Shaking my damn head. Facts. Facts on facts on facts on racks. You know what I'm saying? Sharon Compton says, oh, shout out to you, said, how's it going? And threw me a super chat. I appreciate you for the fireball. Make sure you guys hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Because it's wild out here in these streets. Let's go over to Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate and Patrick Bet David. Shout out to Patrick Bet David. Patrick Bet David dropped a few videos, a few clips, and he did the whole video, in which I'm strongly contemplating whether or not I want to break down this Andrew Tate interview tonight. I don't know if I got the energy for it. That full interview was like 4 hours long. And so I'm contemplating whether or not I want to do the full breakdown or anything like that and do a reaction to it. So I'll keep y'all tuned. I usually don't stream on a Tuesday night. We will be streaming on Wednesday night. And then make sure y'all check out the show that we did yesterday with Q. That was a great show. But the first thing that he said was the BBC, which we reviewed that video, was begging for an interview. Begging for an interview. Let me go ahead and break that down. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification.
We watched the BBC interview with Musk, right? And he goes up and the guy opens up the question with, why'd you agree to do this interview? He says, well, I don't know, what's the name of the BBC? And he's trying to mock them and all this stuff. And there's a part of it where, you know, he calls them out for the mistakes they made. Yeah. And if you go to the bottom of the interview on BBC, you'll see comment section saying, why'd you cut that out? Because Musk puts it on Twitter, but they didn't put it in the interview. Yeah. Then you watch the interview with you. The first question they ask you was, what's the first question? Hey, you've been accused of
serious crimes,
rape or something like that. You know, right off the bat, they asked that question of you. And then you see the interview, Lucy Williamson, I believe, her first question was, you're facing some very serious allegations. Have you raped anybody? That's the open question that they ask you. And the video they put up, the first one, they take it down. The second video they put up, that's 12 minutes, like the highlight one, they turn, the comment section is open. There's 80,000 plus comments there. Then you look at Philip Schofield. Yeah. And you just brought up Philip Schofield. For people that don't know who Philip Schofield, do you mind explaining to people who he is?
Yeah, he was a TV presenter in England. He was very famous. He ran the morning show. And he was grooming children for a very long time. And all the staff knew about it. And the people who worked on the show with them were being groomed by him. And everybody knew. And it was all a big ha-ha-ha joke. And now he's come out saying, oh, please don't pick on me. I feel sad. And the media is saying, I'll leave the guy alone.
He is, when you go look up his Wikipedia, it says he rose to prominence as children's BBC continuity presenter from 85 to 87. Yep. Then went on to do programs on BBC and ITV for Going Live, This Morning, Dancing on Ice, All-Star Mr. and Mrs., The Cube, and a bunch of other things. And they interview him, okay? While he's going through the mess.
Shout out to Heather for the fireball. I appreciate you on Cash App. Also, shout out to Mr. Youngblood. Sent the 25 ball and says, thanks for adding so much value. Also, shout out to Mike That Dude for the 10 ball. Says the value is priceless. Salute. I appreciate you guys. Executive Suite Emily, I see you in the chat. I'm going to be reading that shortly. Let's continue, y'all. I appreciate everybody that contributes to the platform. You are absolutely appreciated. Thank you.
You know, after 27 years of being married, this one guy that he groomed since 10 years old, his name is McGreevy, I want to say, something McGreevy, that he's going through the process. Matthew McGreevy, they met at 10 years old at a theater group. At 15 years old, Philip follows him on Twitter. While the kid is 15, he follows him on Twitter. The guy celebrates it. Long story short, Ruth Langsford, they work together with. She files a complaint. Then right after filing the complaint, McGreevy gets fired. Then he has to take a break. Then he comes out after 27 years telling his wife, you know, and hey, I'm gay, I'm coming out of the closet. He's got 2 daughters. But there's a part of it where Matthew calls his wife and says, hey, your husband and I had an affair together. when I was 19 the first time and 20 and all, nobody knows if it was before or not. The interesting thing about him is his brother, Timothy Schofield, I don't know if you know about his brother.
Oh, what, the one who's in jail for being a pedophile?
Was convicted of 11 sexual offenses involving a child between October 2016 and 2019, including 2 sexual activity with a child. Here's how the interview started. First question, the guy asked him, he says, "You've had quite a week. How are you?" Opening question. Versus the question they ask you on the opening, right? And then he turns around and says, "The media's interest in the affair was motivated partly because of homophobia, alleging that an affair with a much younger woman would have not generated such a scandal." So
before I get into this and before I break down the whole, because I got a couple different clips from this whole interview that I want to go over today. Before I get into it, my first question is something wrong with people that are super famous and that this is like really becoming a thing, and that a lot of these people are obsessed with people that are underage? So much so to where I remember a few months ago, I did a live stream where I was holding people accountable for whether or not they were actually, something was wrong with men that then talked to women that are underage, and what was the obsession with it. And people were saying that I was off and that I was crazy. Are we living in times that are so perverse to where we give compassion to people that have an interest in people that are underage? Why is this a thing? Why is this big? Why is this promoted? Why is this I don't understand it. I don't understand this sick obsession. This is a sickness. This is perverse. This is nasty. It's all of the nastiest things that you can possibly say. You're not going to get me to have compassion for people that then groom and look at and search for and is willing to do something. That's wild to me. Before we even get into this is a wild space. And I know that certain things has always existed, but it's another thing for all of the conversation and justifying it and giving compassion about it right now. We are living in wild times, ladies and gentlemen. Let me continue.
He gets protected.
Yep.
And he says, all those people who write those stuff, do they ever think that there's actually a person on the other end, right? This is proven. By the way, this is the part where even when somebody's watching you and saying, why are they taking him to court? Maybe he did something. Why are they taking Trump to court? Maybe he did something. Why are they taking this guy? He must have done something. There must have been something there, right? It's stuff like this BBC does. If BBC are watching this right now, I want to kind of remind you of your mission statement that you have on your website. We're going to put the link below to your mission statement. You can go find it. Here's what your mission statement is, BBC. This is why you've lost some credibility the last couple of years. To act in public interest, serving all audiences through the provision of impartial, keyword impartial, high quality and distinctive output and services which inform, educate, and entertain. You say you inform, educate, you entertain, yet you conceal, misinform, and your content's quite frankly boring. You're cherry picking on people that you're talking to. So a message like that gets the average person to say, everything with you is allegedly, everything he did is proven, his brother is proven, yet let's leave him alone. Poor guy, let's target him. This is where their argument has leaks in it. And somebody like you can tear it up.
Absolutely. Philip is part of the club, and I'm not. And this is the thing. I'm a mentally resilient person, right? 14 months they've attacked me. I'm not going to sit and complain about that because that's not how I operate as a man. 14 months they've complained about me. If you type Romania, human trafficking, you type in any of these things, my name comes up, my face, I'm a bad person. I've lost all my bank accounts. I've lost all my social media accounts. I've been vilified all across the matrix in every single possible way. They print my face every single day with something negative next to it daily. Nobody gives a shit about my mental health, right? Because I'm the enemy. And what's scary about this is Lucy Williamson herself, she was begging me for an interview. The BBC were begging me for an interview. I don't need any of these people. The only reason I even sat down with the BBC is because they were begging me. I can go and just say my own words and get plenty of views, right? But the whole time I was in jail, they're begging me for an interview. Can we speak to him on the phone? Maybe you can give an interview from jail. Can we have an interview? Please, 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 please. And I was saying, why do I want to talk to the BBC? And the BBC were saying, no, we don't want to do a hit piece. We want to come across, we want to be impartial.
This is what they're telling me.
This is what they're telling me. We want to be impartial. We believe there's a side of the story that hasn't been told. We're really interested in some of the, let's say, what's the word? I don't want to get this wrong. Inconsistencies in the Romanian justice system. We're very interested in his side of the story. There's been enough hit pieces. We want to tell the other side. We want to hear Andrew Tate's story. And I said no, on repeat. Then they sent me a list of questions. I didn't even ask for a list of questions. That's not who I am. I don't have to script. I never asked for a list of questions. They sent me a list of questions. Here's what we're going to ask. It's about his mental health. It's about the Romanian justice system. It's about the fact he hasn't been charged. His liberty's been deprived. All this stuff. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. Maybe it's a bit interesting. And the Matrix is obviously printing lies about me. And these are some interesting questions from the Matrix for the first time ever. Okay. They walk in here all smiles and happy, all smiley faces trying to take me off guard. I already had my list of questions, right? It's all going to be nice and easy. I sit down, and they instantly attack me. They put the cameras on first, and they...
Yeah, that was a finesse. That was 100% of a finesse. And, you know, it is interesting that Patrick Bet David pointed out their mission statement. And I would even say that I don't believe that anybody has a mission statement that has a media platform at this point. I don't even think that anybody should have a mission statement, because I don't care if you look at Fox News, BBC, PBS, The Atlantic, which is supposed to be a very, very credible source, CNN, ABC, NBC, MSNBC. The goal is for them to make money, because these are not publicly funded or objective entities that allow for information to get out. They're entities that's looking to get views so that they can generate revenue. And so the one thing that I will say about Andrew Tate is that he was smart enough to record it himself so that the BBC couldn't paint a narrative or put out or cut out whatever it is that they wanted to cut out. He protected himself, and he made him look absolutely stupid. And so when the BBC released the interview, or when they issued their fake apologies or anything like that, he had the proof to actually document and justify how they were treating him and then how they finessed him. And another beautiful thing that we have is that we have multiple different platforms that have different interests than what it is that they print on their mission statement, to then be able to hold those entities accountable.
Attack me, expecting me to stutter and make a fool of myself. It's kind of like they tried to sucker punch me. I'm in the club, and they're my friends shaking my hand, and they tried to hit me and knock me out. And this is the thing that's so amazing about it. Yes, I destroyed the BBC. But of course I did, because I'm smarter than all of them. But why should I have to rely on my wit and intellect?
They don't like it when you say that you're smarter than them, and that's one of the reasons why they want to destroy you, Andrew. They want you to have this perception of humility. For some reason, it is more important for us to perceive ourselves as being more humble and shut up and do what it is that the mainstream media says, than for us to actually be honest and tell the truth. And I love it. I love the fact that despite the fact that he's going through all of the things that he's going through, and that he has all of the issues that he has, and then that even if they seized all his cars and they froze his bank accounts and all of this other type of stuff, he's still standing on that shit. And he said, and listen, and I destroyed them because I'm better than them and I'm smarter than them and they can't hold the candle to me. This is how men should be operating. This is how men should act. Stand on who you are regardless of what your situation is, and own that.
To destroy BBC with their research team and their plan, their deliberate plan to try and annihilate not only my credibility, but my life. They are trying to put me back in jail, these people. They're not dishonest. They're genuinely evil, and they don't give a shit. And so why should I even sit there and entertain them? I believe I could slip.
And they can profit off of your suffering. And they will profit off of your suffering.
Every single sucker.
This man is literally fighting for his life and fighting for his freedom. Fighting for his life and his freedom. And they chasing him down, trying to put him in jail in order to be able to paint a narrative and make money off of it.
Punch they throw at me for the rest of human time. I could sit with any of these clowns. And no matter who they sit with their research team, whatever garbage they come up with, I'll make a fool of all of them. But why am I even entertaining them anymore? What's the point? That was the last chance I gave mainstream media. They lied for months to get that interview with me. Completely dishonest, head to toe. And like you said, they sit with Philip. Are you okay? Are you okay? We heard your mom's upset, that poor old lady. Maybe everyone should stop talking about it because his mom's upset. Let's not talk about it anymore because his mother's old. You're either part of the club or you're not. You have to sell your sanity nowadays. If you sell your sanity, you're afforded protections. That's the reality of it, because if you're a sane thinking person, you don't buy their bullshit. And that's what upsets them. They don't want anybody who thinks for themselves. They need you to they want you to believe exactly what's on the television screen. Believe in COVID. It's COVID now. It's COVID now. Oh, Putin's invaded Ukraine. Putin's cured COVID now. Now it's Ukraine. It's insane till the next thing comes. It's absolutely asinine.
Did any of the questions that they sent you ahead of time?
Zero.
By the way, we didn't. There was no.
No, that's not how we operate.
Asked us ahead of time whatsoever. Did they ask you any of the questions they said they were going to ask you?
Zero. They start with an attack and it became a battle instantly.
Did they ask you at any point what jail was like?
Zero.
What your mental health was like?
Zero.
How, like, you completely missed the mark when everyone wants to know what was jail like. Well, but they don't even ask you that question.
But this is what's so interesting about it. These people are so detached from reality, because they are genuinely detached from reality. They think that finding a video I made 8 years ago, a 4-hour speech I made 8 years ago, and finding one line of it without context that can be misconstrued, they think that sitting down with me and saying that to me is an aha moment. Nobody cares. Because you're taken out of context, one. And I said you're taking things out of context. She goes, I'm not taking it out of context. I said, if you're presenting it without context, that's taking it out of context. That's what it is. You're lying by omission. I said that to her after the camera's off, and she looked at me because she didn't understand. When you omit details, when you refuse to put in all of the details, you can lie by including one detail which may.
And he's absolutely right. And the most unfortunate part about the whole BBC interview was that not only did he make them look bad, but they would have had more views and they would have gotten more out of the interview. They would have gotten way more out of the interview if they would have just asked him his questions and been objective about the whole thing. One of the things that I try to do when I interview is that I just try to keep the person talking about the things that's meaningful to them. I'm not there to debate you. I'm not there to try to convince you of anything different unless we agree that that's a part of what it is that we're doing as far as, you know, having a conversation. But when I interview certain people, my goal is to get your thoughts, not necessarily inject what it is that I need you to say in order to paint you a certain type of way. They would have gotten way more. People want to know what it was like in jail. People want to know what his situation is. People want to know whether he's broken. They want to know whether or not he's being railroaded, the politics or whatever. The worst thing that the BBC could have possibly did in making himself look bad and reducing the views and ruining the relationship is playing it the way that they played it. And so, idiots, absolutely idiots. Thank you for the super chat, Jamal. Jamal, I'm gonna be reading that shortly.
Happen to be true. You can tell the truth and miss all the details around the truth, and you are lying by omission. You're lying by omission. And you're sitting here saying, oh, you said this 8 years ago. Nobody cares, because they know me, and they know I didn't mean it in that way, and they know it's taken out of context, and they know that it's an old video on the internet, and it's not even an aha moment they think it is. But they just want to sit with you for an hour, attack you and attack you and attack you, wait for you to make one mistake. If I would have stuttered or made a single mistake, that's the only 3 minutes they would have shown. Yep. That's all they want. They want that 1 hour, then they take the little bit.
And you would have been thrown in jail as a result of it.
With me, they cut it down to 12 minutes and look terrible in all of it. But if I would have made a single mistake, it would have been the only bit they shown. That's all they care about. Fake news.
Did you tell them, did you say, I'm only doing this if I'm able to record as well?
I said that.
Because I know that's what happened with Trump as well a couple of years ago.
I didn't even tell them, I just recorded it.
Okay, so they didn't know you were recording.
They didn't know I was recording until afterwards, and then I said, that was dishonest, I'm going to release the whole video.
You told them before you released.
I wonder how he was able to get that recorded without them realizing that he was recording it. That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, he played chess and they was playing checkers. They begged him for an interview. Eventually they got the interview, and then they was looking like a fool after he said, listen, I recorded it and then I'm gonna drop the tapes. And he dropped the tapes. How was he able to get that recorded without them realizing that he was recording? Protect yourself, fellas.
I told them.
There is no contract or agreement with BBC.
No.
Nothing was signed. It was just simply an interview. Okay. Because I think that was very important when you released it for people to see what fully was said versus, and by the way, you know the Philip Schofield interview that they put up, the 12-minute one that just came out? You know the comments are turned off.
Of course they are.
The comments are turned off. Yours are turned on. His is turned off.
Of course.
And who knows many reasons why they would do that. But going back to BBC. So, Okay, they come, they want to ask the questions of you. For some of the people that maybe aren't following the story closely, but they know who you are. We're in the car.
A lot of people saying, well, it was at his house. I know that it was at his house. That's not the question. The question is, why would they go into it not realizing that he has cameras in his house and that they were being recorded? Did they go in and they didn't see a camera, right? Because obviously I would move a little bit differently if I were them with that line of questioning, understanding that it's going to be recorded, that he got cameras everywhere, that Andrew Tate is probably not going to go lying down or take this lying down. He's going to absolutely protect himself considering everything that he's facing and everything that's going on at the moment. Was it a hidden camera? Like, because that camera was like front and center, right and square, right and looking at you or whatever like that. Like, how could you not know or how could you not believe that you was being recorded? That's stupid.
We're driving, and a lot of people are asking questions. We asked the drivers, like, hey, are you going to Tate's place? How do you know we're going to Tate's place? And he says, well, who's Tate? Oh, Andrew Tate. Oh, tell us about Andrew Tate. Well, this is, okay. What kind of a guy is he? He said, I actually really like him. I said, why do you think he's going through what he's going through right now? Oh, it's always because of money. Okay, so we're at a different restaurant. So tell us, why are you going through this? Why is he going? Everybody's saying a similar thing about this, right? But for those who don't know,
y'all don't go into a conversation into somebody else's house understanding that you're being recorded. One of the things that y'all have to understand, right? Anybody that comes through these doors, I have to protect myself. Anybody that comes into my studio, I'm going to protect myself. I'm smart enough to not get me too'd. I'm smart enough to make sure that, you know, nobody is playing me, or if anything has ever happened, I got locks, I got backup hard drives, all of my stuff goes straight into the cloud. So even if you don't think, you got to know who you're dealing with. If you don't believe that you're dealing with a monster, and when I say a monster or a savage, I'm talking about a person that ain't about going by what you say, but they going by what it is that you do, right? That they going to protect themselves and they going to defend themselves vigorously like a savage versus letting you kill their reputation. If you don't think that I'm going to protect myself, if you don't think that you're going to be signing some paperwork on top of it, if you don't think that I'm going to be recording because this is my place in order to protect myself because I have something to protect, you are disillusioned if you just walking in thinking that it's only one way. You're crazy.
There's 3 different camps.
Yeah.
The camp that already sees you guilty, it doesn't matter what they read. So for example, this story here, from BBC came out just last night, 10:30. Andrew Tate choked me until I passed out, UK woman claims, right? This is Alice, another anonymous name, just like Sophie, right?
Yeah.
But there's 3 camps. There's those that say, well, look, I'm already thinking he's guilty. I don't like him anyways. I need anything to get me to think he's guilty. Yeah. Whatever it takes. I don't have to do my own due diligence. I just have to hear anything. Then there's the camp that's a diehard fan. There's nothing you can do that they did wrong. In their eyes, it's going to be wrong. Then you have the people in the middle that are the reasonable ones, that are saying, you know what, let me look at this. Yeah. What about this? What about that? The people in the middle may say the following question. They may say, and I may have asked this question from you last time as well. They may say, Andrew, okay, if this guy is so innocent, how can they get you to go to the dungeon for 92 days? How can they put you on house arrest? How can they do all this stuff? Yeah. If you're somebody that was born in US, you lived in UK, how come somebody else isn't coming to bail you out? You got different lawyers. How is it that they can keep doing this to you if you're not guilty? What do you say to those people?
Yeah, and once again, I have to be careful what I say because of the court case, but Romania has a law, or the law in Romania is basically, if you can prove to a judge that it might have happened, they're allowed to hold you up to 6 months during the investigation stage. If I was guilty of anything, I would have been charged long ago. And we're going to talk about charges soon because I still believe they're going to attempt to charge me. But we're now approaching the end of the 6 months they can keep me under a form of arrest for without charge. Typically in Romania, when I was first arrested, the guard said, within 2 weeks, you'll have your indictment. I was like, 2 weeks? He goes, yeah, everyone gets charged quickly. Nobody waits 6 months for a charge. If they arrest you, they charge you, like every other country.
I am gonna go over another part of the interview after I finish breaking this one down, but I will not be doing a full breakdown of the entire interview. And this is a full 4-hour interview. And as I see interest related to the clips that then comes back to the money, that's what we'll break down on the Millionaire Morning Show. But as a result of, I am not going to be doing a review of this whole podcast. If y'all want to go and watch it, y'all more than willing to go and watch it and take your own assessment. But I just do not have the capacity to break down a 4-hour live stream that they did. I'm not doing it tonight. I'll drop some other videos. I'll drop some other long form content in order to be able to add value into your life. But this is a lot. This is a whole lot. When I do regular interviews, when they go 2 hours, I'll be like, ooh, we got a lot going on here. We might have to break this up into 2 parts. Let's come back tomorrow. I'm not that type of dude.
Right? The fact they've waited 6 months and gone into my entire life and attempted to find something shows they don't have a case. Why I believe it happened is because they didn't have a case when they were trying to hit me with this garbage, and they thought, you know what? If we put him all over the news, if we slander his name completely, there was a hotline set up. If you're a girl who's been hurt by Andrew Tate, call this.
That is crazy.
In the UK. A hotline. So they were attempting to use the media to find what they wanted. Months go by, case file's empty, nothing's happening. My lawyer's saying, when are we going to close this case file? Like, yeah, we're just waiting for some papers. We're going to close it. Around the time I was canceled, things started appearing in the case file again. They started spying on me again. Very interesting that it happened around that time.
Thank you, Brock, and thank you, Plato. I'm going to be reading y'all super chat shortly.
I don't know if they understood that I wasn't protected by the political class in the USA. I don't know what happened. They started to build this case, and they spied on me for all of these months, spending millions of euros, spying on me everywhere I went, trying to find evidence of a crime. Eventually, they get to the end of their legal limit to spy on me, and they don't have any crime. They don't have anything. So in my current court case, we have 2 Americans who lied, the ones who we have the conversations between them saying they're going to get an Oscar for lying to the police. We have the CCTV of them coming and going. We have their Uber records showing they can travel the country freely. We have their phone calls with their mother where they're saying, yeah, he didn't hurt me, and my boyfriend caught me. We have all of it. We have all the evidence. We have those 2. And then there's nobody else who could possibly even take the stand. I don't believe, as high level as this Matrix attack is.
He got a beast editor. He got a really top-notch production. Patrick Bet-David is out here killing it in these streets. Let me just give a shout out to Patrick Bet-David and what it is in Valuetainment and what it is that they got going on.
I still don't believe a Romanian judge is going to put me in jail with the dossiers. I've seen it. It's garbage. I don't think I'm going to end up in jail. But it's just taking years of my life, damaging my influence, having bad things to say about me, keeping me under control, keeping me locked in a house. That's all they want to do. They have no interest in the truth. There's no victims. There's no one to take the stand.
Do you know who Sophie is or Alice is or no?
Yeah, so the BBC,
Ali?
That's really interesting. So then the BBC says, well, we found victims because the BBC have done enough investigative journalism to understand that the case is garbage and there's no victims. So they said, well, we found victims. They found one called Sophie first. That was a few months ago. I think I was still in jail when Sophie appeared.
Is that her real name?
No, that's her fake name. So they have a girl with a fake name called Sophie. They don't show her face. They ask me, what do you think about Sophie? How can I comment on Sophie when Sophie isn't real? Firstly, you've made her up. Secondly, I don't know who you're talking about. You're saying that 9 years ago, I was emotionally controlling? That is the most subjective garbage accusation. What does that mean? 9 years ago, I said you shouldn't party with those guys in the club. Is that what I said? I don't know.
This is absolutely insane that we even in a space in this society, in this world, and I'm not even talking about Western culture, even in Romania and even across the internet, we live in a space where a man can literally, his whole reputation can be killed. His whole life can be disrupted. All of his cars, the things that he worked for, his influence can be completely taken away from him based off of an agenda, an idea, a theory, and him going against the grain of what's happening in society. We can have mythical people that make up something, and you can have your whole life put on hold for the next 6 months and have to spend countless dollars defending yourself against something that's not even real and not even true. If this does not show you that this is the biggest assault on men, I don't know what does.
Know what I said. I don't know who she is, if she exists at all. And they're saying 9 years ago you were emotionally controlling. Sophie said so. Who's Sophie? We're not telling you. What's emotionally controlling mean? We're not telling you. What comment do you want me to? If this person even exists, which they don't, then I destroy the BBC, make it very clear to them that Sophie doesn't exist, on repeat, because she doesn't. And 2 days later, Alice appears. What's interesting about this is that DCAUT, the federal agency inside of Romania, along with help from international partners, have tried so hard, spending millions of euros with federal level tools to find a victim so they can put me in jail. And they can't find anyone. But the BBC just pulls them out whenever they want. The BBC.
So the question then becomes for me, what incentive do they have to do this? Why are they so gung-ho to chase down Andrew Tate? It's got to be financially involved. It got to be as associated with the fact that if they convict him, maybe they can seize his stuff. It's got to be some other reason outside of the fact that they don't like Andrew Tate. I didn't even know Romania was the type of place that was aligning with this feminist agenda similar to Western culture over here in America. I didn't know that. I thought that Romania, one of the reasons that he went to Romania was because he had the freedom to be able to really, really express his thoughts and to live his life and to absolutely, completely, highlight and talk about the things that's meaningful to him. I did not know that they were similar to America over there in Romania. I'm always trying to figure out what is the incentive for people to then go after somebody that is successful and, more importantly, that is not actually physically hurting anybody. It's always weird to me.
Where do these people come from? And I say this every single time. If anybody
Classy Beats, I could believe that he's too powerful. But if somebody becomes powerful, then you want them to become your ally. You don't want to necessarily take them down. If somebody becomes powerful, you want them to be your ally. You don't want to go up against them. That's the dumbest thing that you could possibly do.
Believes they've been wronged, male or female, by me, go to the police. Go to the police. I encourage you to go to the police. All these people say we don't want to go to the police. We just want to stay on the news. What, is that because you're not real? Is that why? That's pretty convenient. I mean, I thought I was a bad person. Why don't you go to the cops? Oh, because you have no evidence and it doesn't exist? That's why.
Are all these accusers in the UK, not even in Romania?
Not even in Romania. So Sophie and Alice are supposedly both from the UK. And Alice's story
To correct, it's not Alice. I said Alice, it's Evie. Evie or Evie or something like that.
Sorry.
Evie.
It's all made up names.
It's all made up names.
Yes.
So Evie,
we could call whatever name we want. But
yeah, Evie is saying 13 years ago I choked her or something.
Yeah. By the way, when is the 6-month time limit?
Stupid.
End of this.
Okay. And can we reference the tweet you just posted a couple days ago?
I want to stay on this. She was commenting on Evie. You were going to say something about Evie, what she said.
Let me back up for a minute because I want to read some of these super chats and then we're going to continue because it's something financially related that I also want to tap into as a part of this conversation. Shout out to Patrick Bet David. So we're going to come back to that in a minute. Executive Suite MLE says, Dwayne knows damn well that relationship ain't 50-50 from a financial perspective. Gabby tried a power play to make it seem like she's a head of household to give the impression that she can do it alone, which is also stupid because it gives women, people that are influenced by what it is that she's doing, it gives them this perspective that they should be this powerful woman and they out here outside of their true nature and their purpose. Jamal Fowler says if Anton and Andrew do a show, it will be the biggest ever. Shout out to Jamal. Brock says, pass the love offering. Great show as always. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate you. Plato says this should be titled The Rise of Feminine Supremacy. I heard it's even worse in Spain. You were locked out within days with no proof. This is one of the reasons why I'd be scared to travel overseas sometimes, honestly, because I don't know their system. I don't know how they think. I don't know, especially with me being a public figure and having a platform, how that would affect me. I never want to put myself in a position that I have to, it's already bad enough that you have to defend yourself here in the United States of America and be basically looked at as guilty until proven innocent. It's another thing to have to deal with that in a foreign country. Let me go ahead and get back into this thing because Andrew Tate, back to the money, said average people will be replaced by artificial intelligence. Let me say that one more time. Average people will be replaced by artificial intelligence. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Tap into that Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Let's go ahead and get it started with this.
I saw a video by the president of Microsoft, Brandon. I think it was the president of Microsoft who said, you're going to see one of the biggest threats in the future being deep fakes. Okay?
Yeah, it is.
And then you saw a similar thing being...
Deep fakes scare the fuck out of me. If there's not one thing on this earth that scares me more than deep fakes, because deep fakes are so real and the technology is so crazy to where you can literally make it seem like, oh, some person on video is saying with their voice and their likeness, and people can say and pretend like you really did it. Deep fakes are crazy. I have not seen this video before, but I'm reacting to it for the first time ever. Let's continue.
Said by Google, Sergey Brin. You're going to see what's going to happen with deep fakes. And then the example of deep fakes was given by the actress from Wonder Woman. What's her name? Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot, right? Yeah. There was a deep fake porn made of her. Then there was a deep fake video made of Trump. Then there's deep fake of Joe Rogan. There's one of Morgan Freeman. Hi. Yeah, I am not crazy. Morgan Freeman. Kind of goes like this. Wow. So the direction we're going with deep fake, right? When it comes down to AI, where do you see the threat? Is that something you think about? Is that something you see as an opportunity, as a threat? And if yes, which part?
Scammers are already using your voice and your likeness in order to contact your loved ones to say, oh, send some money because your loved one is in danger and locked up. You need to get them out of jail. Scammers is already finessing.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. Deep fakes are certainly going to change the world, because what we're going to have is we're going to have a post-truth society, and then the only way they're going to be able to tell you what's true or not is some committee which decides what's true and what's a deep fake. Yep. And then they're going to be in charge of the world, and then they're going to lie to you, and then you're really in trouble.
This world is over.
So that's going to be very interesting. Once you get to the point where, what did I say earlier about not being able to trust your own eyes? They're going to take that away from us soon. Then what? Then you're really in trouble. In regards to AI, I think it has to be adopted.
Because you won't be able to use your senses to be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's not. We already got people that believe some of the craziest stuff just based off of a narrative or being indoctrinated. And then you input fake evidence on top of that. I'll be having people like, oh, Anton, you can just look at a vlog. People be like, oh, Anton, this person is A, B, C, and D. And I'll be like, I don't really see that. I only see this from this fake blog over here. And it's not even justified. So deep fakes, I don't know why the government is not on top of that and starting to regulate what's going on, but this whole world is going to shit anyway, so it don't really matter.
Inside of my school, Hustlers University, we teach AI with absolutely everything. A lot of the images we generate, even on my Twitter account, is all AI. And what's actually scary about the modern world is, I don't consider myself old, I'm 36, but some of the children, I call them children, 17, 18-year-olds inside of my school, Hustlers University, they're AI wizards, and they can do magic with this stuff. Magic. Like, they can literally, genuinely, Andrew Tate on the moon, and the image is generated in seconds. Like, artists are going out of business. I thought AI would put truck drivers out of business. Artists are going out of business. Musicians are going out of business. It's kind of scary. I do like to think that with things like AI, there's always going to be some degree of natural separation between the men who are genuinely inventive and killers and the men who are more... Let me change the way I say that.
The lines are blurred.
I think if you're an exceptional person, a truly exceptional person, you don't have to be afraid of nearly anything. But you'll probably agree with this. In my experience, in nearly every business in the world, you have 10% killers, and then you have a bunch who want the paycheck. They do their job, but I wouldn't say they're killers. You understand? Mm-hmm. And we lived in a society for a long time where I can even tell you now, sometimes when I hire, I'll say to my cousin or to my COO, I'll say, look, either get one killer or 3 normal people. Because that's the reality. That's the basic. You either need 3 people to half do the job, or you need 1 killer to do the job. And I think that those 3 people who half do their jobs, enough to not get fired, they turn up most of it on time, but they're not really that motivated. Those are the ones who have to fear AI. I think businesses in the medium term are going to become killers and AI. I tell them now, I have some guys who work for me on one particular company and their sales staff. I was reading through the sales scripts. The killers doing really well. But the average guys have said, you're not doing much better than ChatGPT could do right now. I want to warn you that you're not doing much better than I could replace you with a machine today, let alone in 5 years from now, for free. You need to be careful. So I think it's just becoming more and more competitive. The idea that you can just be Joe Schmo, do your job, turn up, I don't try that hard, it's fine. I think that's all going to go out the window because.
And it's already gone out the window. And this is why I keep trying to convince people that it's a class war and it's not a race war. While y'all are so busy fighting these wars and trying to get reparation and trying to stay on code and all of this other type of stuff, technology and money, really, it's only 2 things. It's only 2 things, because money is the thing. Commerce, not even going to say money. Commerce, the exchange of goods and services in order to be able to feed your face and then determine who it is that controls what happens in the world. That's commerce. Commerce and who it is has what is largely going to be the determining factor for whether or not you're successful or not. And so the difference is that when I hear people say stuff like, oh man, 40,000 is enough, 50,000 is enough. We don't even have that no more. Thank God y'all came to the light and seen that $40,000 is not enough to raise a family of 4 or 5. Okay. But when you see people and they just want to show up in order to get a paycheck, he is absolutely right. That is going to be the separation between the haves and the have-nots. There will be no more middle class. It's only going to be, like he would say, killers. I say savages. It's going to be people that are high performers and savages, and those are the ones that don't sleep. Those are the ones that's obsessed with success. Those are the ones that's dedicated, and they're going to learn from everybody regardless of what they look like. And they're not necessarily going to be on code just based off of who you are, but based off of culture. That is what the thing. You are 100% right, Santandra. It's classism. It's always been classism. Black people own slaves. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. They don't want to have a conversation about that. They don't really want to look at that. Black people owned slaves. If you're not continuously trying to reinvent yourself, we see people on YouTube every single day. Every single day. They was hot last year. They was hot the year before. And they've completely lost their flame, and ain't nobody even checking for them whatsoever. They not even trying to continue because they didn't have the endurance. They didn't have the innovation. They didn't have the growth. They didn't have the opportunity. We see people every day just completely fade off into oblivion, and we don't even know who they are no more. The high performers, the ones that get it, the ones that chase it, the ones that's trying to continue to reinvent themselves and improve their skills. Even if you was a software engineer in 1990 is completely different than a software engineer in 2023. You have to continuously reinvent yourself, improve your skills, get new skills, throw yourself into it. It's a whole nother mindset that comes with being successful. And it's going to be an even bigger shift and a bigger separation based off of class and based off of mindset that determines who's successful and who's not. He is 100% right. Artificial intelligence is here, it's been here, and it's absolutely going to change the way in which we do business.
As the world becomes more competitive, as a company, you have to compete with your competitors. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is just, where do you cut the fat? Where do you cut the slack? When I see AI popping up and getting more and more intelligent in the way it's talking, that doesn't scare me. I have a way with words. If I was Joe Schmo, I'd be afraid. This chat GPT can probably text your girl better than you can. He'll probably get laid faster than you will.
That's a little advice for the guys out there
right
now. Just
plug it into your phone. It'll do better.
Could you imagine that? Dudes using chat GPT in order to be able to spit game over the chicks? This is a wild world that we live in. I don't want no parts of it. I think I was born at exactly the right time, just enough to be able to enjoy the best of it and then watch as it completely self-destructs.
Than you do. So that's scary, you know?
That's
and I think that's what the average man really needs to struggle. And I've been saying, this has been my message for a very long time in all realms. I've said for a very long time that life for the average man is going to get harder and harder. It's becoming more and more competitive. You need to find more and more ways to stand out and be unique. And the only way to really do those things, unfortunately, as a man, is to suffer. And that's one of the reasons I'm kind of glad.
Now that's the part that people don't want to really do it. The separation between the people that become great and the people that not is suffering. Suffering gives you thick skin. Suffering allows for you to learn the lessons that ensure that you can endure long enough to get to the success. Suffering gives you life lessons. Suffering, there's growth in suffering, failing forward. So many people don't want to fail, and they're so afraid of somebody criticizing them from failing that they never even really step off of the porch. They so busy trying to be safe. I don't know how many times that I've heard people say something like, I don't want to be rich. I just want to get enough money to be comfortable. Then that means that you'll never, ever get enough money to be comfortable, because most people that wind up getting enough money to be comfortable, they was chasing getting rich. Shout out to Patrice Jean-Baptiste. I'm going to be reading that super chat right now. He says, Anton, that's not a joke. There's a tool that already can be used to flirt via text using quotes from movies. Shout out to Patrice Jean-Baptiste. This is wild.
glad that God put me in jail, because if you look at anything that builds a man into a man, there's a degree of suffering. It's very hard to become a man and have a man who's respected and has stories and is capable when he only had a nice life and nice experiences. It's usually the things that made you the best version of you are usually the worst things that happen to you. So the demons I carry from jail, the fact that I can't sleep. The fact that I can't sleep, I've had girls say to me, you can't sleep, you need to see a psychiatrist. And I said, absolutely not. I would be furious if a psychiatrist walked in here and took my demons from me. I don't care if they could fix me with a click, they're mine. And they were bestowed to me by God. And they are mine to deal with, and they are mine to fix, because that's how I become a better version of me. I would be furious if someone took them away from me. I'm glad I can't sleep. Good, I can try.
Which is why therapy is a scam. He broke it down much better than I ever could have. Therapy is a scam. Therapy, and let me take it one step further. And this is why I don't do drugs. I know y'all don't want to hear that. I know y'all don't believe in that. Hey, y'all always say, well, everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is smoking trees. Everybody else is taking acid. Everybody else is doing meth. Everybody else is on perks. Everybody else is doing it. So it's legal. Why shouldn't we be able to do it? Because it removes and it dulls your senses that prevent you from being able to lean on your life experiences that allow for you to become a better version of yourself. You're trying to numb the pain instead of going through it. You're numbing the pain instead of experiencing it and going through it. The reason why you can't compete against me is because you haven't been through what I've been through, which allows for me to endure long enough in order to get to the success. I'm willing to die for it. I'm willing to endure long enough for it. I'm not looking to overcome it. I'm looking to embrace it because it turns me into a savage. Everybody wants to escape. Everybody wants to try to figure it out. Everybody wants to try to cope more effectively. No, I embrace the things that I went through because that's the thing that made me the savage that I am today. When you hear people say, I went through it and that's the thing that turned me into who I am, it's a reason for that. It's a reason for that. The things that and I tell y'all all the time, I tell y'all on this morning show, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. You didn't fail. You went through it for a reason so that you can then lean into it in order to continue to learn the lesson to get to where it is that you need to go to now. I do not drink. I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any of that.
Train endlessly. That's why I'm bigger than I've ever been. I'll train I'm not going to waste a minute. But all the demons that have been given to me by God and all the problems that have been given to me by God are mine to fix. I would never, ever allow anybody else to take them from me. I'd be furious. If a psychologist came in and said, I could cure you, I'd say, no, thank you. I will cure myself. I don't care if it takes 10 years. I'll cure myself. That's my job. And I know that when that's done, I will be more mentally resilient than I ever would have been without jail. That's the whole point of it, right?
So many men. Tate comes through this and he somehow, some way he gets through it to where he can battle the Romanian government and comes through this and he it's only going to make him bigger. Every time that Andrew Tate goes through something and then he does an interview, he becomes a much bigger mythical figure and he's doing exactly what they don't want him to do. The more that he comes through it and he's not docile as a result of it and he's not weak as a result of it, he becomes greater and he becomes a bigger person as a result of it. Anything that doesn't break you is going to exponentially multiply who you are.
And say, I want to be the man, but they don't want to suffer. They don't want to fight. And I don't understand why, because even if you look at a superhero movie, they tell you, even in superhero movies, they make it very clear. Batman's parents died. That's why he's Batman.
Yep.
All the bad things have to happen. There's no way to get there without the bad things. I get so many emails from people complaining about their bad things, and I don't have time to reply to any of them, but if I could, I'd say good. Good luck. Congratulations. Off you go. Of course she broke your heart. Of course you're sad. Of course you miss her. She's with me now. That's life. That's part of it. That's the only way you're going to get to that level of resilience. You can't become the man any other way. So yeah, I thank God for everything bad that's ever happened to me and all the demons. And I trust that he's not going to give me anything I cannot, in the end, decipher and deal with. In the end, I think it's a puzzle. and you decipher it and you work out the best way to deal with it and you internalize the good parts and you become a better and stronger and more resilient person for it. Mm-hmm. So I have to thank God for every single one of them.
Well, I mean, you got to go through shit to be the shit. That's basically what it is. And by the way, what you're saying is not a hypothetical. You talk about being the average man. You see this play out on dating apps these days. Have you seen what's happened, especially on Instagram and on all the dating apps, Hinge, Bumble, and out there? The top guys out there are getting 90% of the women, whereas
the interesting thing about it is that most people that come to me or most people that wind up subscribing to this channel or even getting a coaching call or joining the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Most of these people, they came to me because it hurt their feelings or they didn't like something that I said initially. I didn't like you. You made me feel bad. You hurt my feelings. I didn't agree with you. You said fuck my feelings. I got in my feelings as a result of it. And then eventually what happens is they come to the realization is that it hit them like a ton of bricks and they want more for themselves because it calls for them to have a self-reflection moment to say, you know what, I want to do things differently, not necessarily keep feeling a certain type of way. I don't want to operate in my femininity. I want to start exploring what it's like to operate in my masculinity. Most people that tap into me, initially, they don't like me. Ask me if I ever cared. Ask me if I ever wanted a fence rider. Because either I'm going to break you or I'm going to make you a better version of you. One or the other. Either way, it's going to happen. I told a guy yesterday, I said, man, fam, I don't think you want this. I told a guy yesterday, he had his first coaching call with me. I said, listen, this is only going to go two ways, and you need to make a very, very informed decision as to what it is that you're going to do, because this is not going to go the way you think it's going to go.
Hello?
What's up, my friend? You busy?
Yeah, I'm headed to work right now.
Hey, I got a question for you. I'm on the live. When we had our conversation yesterday, what do you think? How do you think? What would you describe my interaction with you being towards the end?
Very direct. I mean, I really, just to be honest, I really needed that.
You said, wait, say that again. You said, just to be honest, what?
Well, yeah, just to be honest, I really needed the direct counsel that you had. And you giving me the real of my situation based on what I've told you and how you wanted to, assist me in where I needed to go.
Would you say that I pity patted or I made you feel good or I made you comfortable or anything like that?
Not at all. Not at all. You gave me the real, and you told me the steps I needed to accomplish, and as we speak, I'm doing it right now.
And I basically told you, fuck your feelings. First time we ever talked, I basically said, fuck your feelings.
Basically, yeah.
And I don't want to hear no bullshit from you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And then I forced you to make a decision because I told you this ain't really what you want. If you're not ready to work, if you're not ready to be great, if you're not ready to put your ego to side and humble yourself and fuck all of that therapy shit and to really get to the bag, then this ain't really what you want. Did I not say that?
That's exactly what you said.
All right, my friend. I'm going to talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
A lot of these women out here, I like to bring the receipts. A lot of these women out here, they sit in there and say, oh my God, Anton, you're so hard on women. You're so hard on black women. Then you don't want to be a guy that's on a phone call with me. And it don't all go like that because I give credit where credit is due. And when you're doing something great, I'm going to praise you, I'm going to acknowledge it, and I'm going to keep encouraging you to go that way. But don't come to me with no sob stories. I don't give a fuck about what your father said to you. I don't give a fuck about what your mama did. You a grown man. This is what I'm offering you. I'm offering you the truth. The only thing I care about is your success. You then become a reflection of me after we have that conversation. I'm not here to make you feel good. This is not an opportunity for us to have multiple calls. The least amount of calls that we have, the better, because that means that you fixed and that you actually get into the bag and you making adjustments. When the women sit there and complain, they don't know what my guys go through. They savages now. They monsters. They got thicker skin. They push. They advocates. They pillars for their community and their families, and they take care of their kids, and they don't sit here and have no fucking complaints about what it is that they doing. These are the type of men that y'all said that y'all wanted, right? Then let me do my job and stop complaining about how it is that I'm holding you accountable. If you don't like it, then stop sending me emails talking about my life is fucked up and I need somebody to actually tell me the truth. When you get the truth, it's going to hurt. But I guarantee you, once you get up from getting your feelings hurt and we start to cook and we start to peak and we start to push, that shit is going to be like, it's going to be like a gold rush. It's going to be like a gold rush. Let's continue.
Bottom guys, I think the stats are a third of men under 30 have not been laid in a year.
If being average is not acceptable anymore.
At all.
It's not acceptable anymore. And it's not acceptable in the sexual marketplace, but it's also just not acceptable, I don't think, even in life anymore.
Period.
You have to diversify now so much to even protect yourself. The idea that you can just be a law-abiding citizen in a country and just work your job and be okay is gone. It's gone. If COVID doesn't prove that, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Look at my situation. You have to diversify. You have to be smart enough that you have assets and friends and capability and lawyers and whatever all over the world now. That's the only way to protect yourself. You can't just sit within one jurisdiction and go, oh, well, but I don't speed, so it's going to be okay. I don't think it is. I think it's coming to a point where it's not going to be okay.
And I agree with him. I think that that's enough. I agree 100% with what it is that he's saying. He's basically breaking down the idea that being average or being right in the middle of the pack is not going to be safe for you. It's not going to be safe for you. Everybody is going to suffer. The thing that you have to ask yourself is, how bad do you want to suffer to get to the other side of that conversation? He made his point. We don't need to see the rest of that. Let me read some of the super chats and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here. Cliff, my dog, says, it's not that I didn't like you. See, Cliff. I was interested in wanting to understand more. I love you, bro. Ain't going to wait until you're dead to say it. My guys love me, and I love them back. My guys love me, and I love them back. It's tough love. If I love you, I'm not going to let you suffer as a result of it. Gentleman JT says, Anton, I tried to re-up on a teach pack using your new link in the description, but the code is still a peef. Nah, it shouldn't be. Not the link in my description. Not the link in my description. The link in my description certainly ain't going to say Lapeef. Let me see something. Give me a second. Let me just make sure that we all on the same page here. The link in my description says... No. You need to cancel that shit. Cancel that other shit and then come over to here. And then we going to run that shit up. So... if you're having problems, make sure you email me. We're going to make sure that you get taken care of as a result of that. Shout out to the gentleman, JT. Jeremy H., my guy, says, good afternoon, Mr. Daniels. Can you do a breakdown on how we can benefit from the upcoming auctions and foreclosures on real estate because it's coming? The thing about it is that you're going to be facing off against, and I've been to the auctions and foreclosures, and I know, Jeremy, I know that you over here in the Metro Detroit area. They basically have two different auctions. You have the Oakland County auction, and then you have the Wayne County auction. The Wayne County auction is largely going to be based off of getting rid of the land so that they can get people back on the tax payrolls in order to pay property taxes. I'm not really sure that you're going to benefit from that. The number one thing that you have to realize in real estate, y'all, is regardless of whether or not you go into a tax foreclosure or whatever, because you're going to face a lot of cash buyers, you're going to face a lot of competition. The thing that y'all have to remember is that it's location, location, location. The number one rule, the number one thing in real estate is not to just be buying properties in order to say that you're an owner. It's not to be buying it in the hood. It's not to be buying distressed properties. It's not to just be buying vacant land in the places that you don't even want to be in. Location, location, location is the most important rule and lesson in real estate. The most. Do not shortchange yourself by trying to get a less than stellar property or a less or a cheaper property by then sacrificing the location. And that is what you're going to see at these auctions. You're going to see a lot of people going in there trying to get properties for cheap, and they're going to try to become flippers, and they're going to try to get into the real estate game, and it is not going to work out for them at all. Jeremy, I actually got a call with you this afternoon, so I can actually give you a little bit more insight on what you can look for and what you should look for, because as a person that has went to the auctions and bought multiple different properties at both the Oakland County and the Wayne County Wayne County tax auction here in Michigan, I can tell you what to look out for, how much you should have, and who you're going to be competing against, okay? When y'all try to use my link that's in the description right here, it doesn't. Tej Anton June. Get your discount below. Why does it say that? Remove that. It does say that. Copy your coupon code below. Y'all right. You're absolutely right. Thank y'all for letting me know that. That's why they probably still got their fucking Lapeef deal. Hey, we need to get in touch with the Tej people ASAP, because when you click my link in order to get the discount code, when you go down to copy the discount code to get the 30% off, it say Lapeef in there. That's why the motherfuckers probably still got their Lapeef deal and they not suffering.
Okay. I'm on my way home. As soon as I get home, I'll contact them.
Okay. Yeah, get that shit. We're going to get that taken care of ASAP. All right, bye. These niggas still eating off me, man. These niggas still eating off Anton from AntonDaniels.com out here in these streets. No worries. No worries. No worries. We coming for everything. We coming for everything. Make sure that you guys tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description. It's too much money in there for y'all to be able to get y'all bags up. We're not going to be out here fumbling the bag. We're not going to let these niggas eat off us. We're going to keep that pressure on, and we're going to run that check up. You know what I'm saying? So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all continue to add value into each other. Make sure you tap in. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, then we got a problem. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, we got a motherfucking problem. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. What is these 5s in here? These 20s. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. All right? Make sure you tell your family and friends. Hold on. I got to hit the button. Make sure you tell your family and friends. We don't want to be rich by ourselves. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to continue to add value into y'all life. Go and do the thing that's in your best interest. I'm going to make sure I fix the link. I got you. I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.